Hello and welcome back. This is podcast ish and Ep.2. Woohoo! And my name is Eliza Mozal. I am a transformational mentor, and over here I am talking about spiritual journey, about self-esteem, self-worth, about overcoming those inner struggles that holds us back. So if this is your jam, be sure to subscribe if you would like and hit the notification bell so you will not miss out on any new video or podcast that is being released. And welcome back if this is not your first time over here. And today, oh boy, I would like to talk about something that it might help so many of you to understand a little bit more spirituality if this is the beginning of your journey. Or maybe you are at the stage of your journey where you are feeling a little bit maybe like you've overdone it. Maybe you feel a little bit lost. Maybe you feel a little bit on the crossroads. I am really hoping that this episode is going to help you go back to basics, to look at it from a totally new perspective, maybe from outside of the box, and it's going to help you understand whatever it is that you need to understand right now on this season of your journey. One of the first things I wanted to talk about is that what it actually means to me and what it might mean to you exploring more your spirituality or even starting exploring your spirituality. And what I think it's really good to take a note of is that could be different for so many of us on so many different stages of our journeys. And whatever it means to me right now, that doesn't mean that that's the way it was a month ago or a year ago or 5 years ago. And it doesn't mean that that's the way it's going to be, tomorrow or next year or next decade. And whatever I'm sharing on this channel, whatever I'm sharing on this platform is exactly what I am going through at the moment, is exactly what it is in my heart. And before I will talk about it, let me just maybe fill you in, help you feel a little bit more cozy, whatever it is that you do, wherever you're listening that on the go, or whenever you are in your favorite chair or on the couch with a little journal to take some notes, or whether you just have your eyes closed so you can rest them and tune into through your heart into that episode, whatever it is that you do. I hope you are at peace, and I hope everything is going okay for you. And if not, I really hope you will remember that every single thing is just temporary. And whatever it is that you are going through, whether you define that as good or bad, it is just temporary as well. I've had a really good morning so far. It is a Sunday. It's somewhere around 12:15, and it is a second day of this storm Dennis. I guess it's called Dennis. So it's quite very, very windy outside, and my house is on the very top of the hill. So when it's windy, it's properly windy. And if you're gonna hear the background noise, despite even all the windows being closed and shut, that would be the noise. But I hope it's not gonna make any difference because it's all about the message again. And I've had a really nice morning. I've had absolutely beautiful meditation. The experience I've had there was just absolutely out of this world. It was just so beautiful, so unique, and so magical. And please don't get me wrong, it didn't happen, the first minute I sat my body down and I closed my eyes. No, for the first 15 minutes, my head kept on telling me that today is actually not the day to do it. Yeah, my head kept on telling that I'm meditating for 5 years now, and for nearly 2 years, for quite a significant amount of time during the day, every day. So, and yes, that head keeps on telling me all the time, no, today is not the day. Maybe you're just not good at it today. Maybe you should just let it go, get up and go and do other stuff. There is just so much you have to do, Eliza. So my head kept on telling me that. And despite of hearing that, I wasn't judging these thoughts. I wasn't, oh, you are a bad thought, go away, shoo. Or I wasn't saying, that criticizing, judging myself, feeling guilty. I just was trying my best just to simply observe these thoughts and still make a decision of just keep on my body, where it is. Keep on sitting my body, keep on practicing, paying attention in that meditation, in that particular moment. And maybe after 15 minutes or 20 minutes, I really, of course, when you're meditating, it's tough to figure out the time, and it doesn't even matter. You're trying to not figure things out. And after about, I don't know, maybe 15-20 minutes, I started experiencing something just so beautiful and profound. And if you would like me to talk about these experiences in my meditations, let me know in comment section, because this is definitely not for everyone, and it's can be seen, and probably it will be seen by many people as some science fiction stuff like from the movies, but that's the stuff I'm experiencing. And very often that's what I live for. They're just absolutely beautiful and amazing, and they change me and they shape me, and they help me become a someone I've always wanted to be, but different and the same in the same time. So yeah, if this is something you want me to talk about in detail, please let me know in a comment section. And after having, this beautiful experience in meditation, I've had a 40 minutes of yoga, stretching my body without too much movement, lots of yin yoga, lots of breathing, lots of paying attention to my body and to my breath. I've head out for a quite nice walk. It was extremely windy. At some point, it's gonna push me to the ditch, but it didn't. I kept on walking. The wind wasn't able to break me this time. So yeah. And right now what I wanted to talk about is the stuff that maybe many of you, ask yourself at the beginning of your journey or at some stage of your journey, like, what is this whole spirituality all about? And I truly believe that we are body, mind, and soul. That, in this today's world, we are brought up through conditioning into believing that we are just our minds, sometimes emotions, and better to, shut them down. And it's okay to laugh, but it's not okay to cry. And it's okay to be happy, but it's not okay to be sad. And it's like, it's just so doesn't make much sense, because it's so selectional. And at the end of the day, who said that? Who came up with that, with all that stuff that makes so much, separation and so much duality, so much black and white is good and black is bad, but in other cultures it's opposite. It's just creates so much confusion, pain, suffering. And today I'm very aware of it. At the beginning I was extremely confused. So if you are confused in any way, I'm really hoping that this episode is going to help you have a little bit bigger understanding. But it's not about you buying into my experience. It's not about you buying into my way of thinking and my truth. Not at all. I am only sharing stuff that I'm experiencing to give you a little bit of courage. Maybe that will actually give you the permission so you can open up to your own truth, so you can see the things the way suits you. Because at this particular stage of your journey, it might be good for you to just focus on the good, and it's nothing, absolutely nothing wrong with that. So if that makes sense, I'm only sharing that stuff to help you open up to your own light, to help you open up to your own magnificent, beautiful truth that it is deep within you and all around you. But at the beginning, it can be only perceived under a particular state of consciousness when we are present, here and now, aware, not necessarily through analytical mind, but more through feelings and emotions and letting things come and go, like meditation state. So what does it actually means to me to explore my spirituality? And as I said earlier, we are body, mind, and soul, and just limiting ourselves to thinking that I am my mind or I am my body is what brought me lots of pain and suffering. But through that, pain and suffering, and through that challenging, difficult times, I came to a point when I was able to, okay, I think there is absolutely no other way for me but just surrender and let totally new, step in. And I've started understanding more and more that spirituality is about opening up to the concept that we are all one. More spirituality means less separation between you and me. And what separates us? Where I come from. I'm from Poland. Where you're listening that from? Where are you from? You're from UK, you're from Scotland, you're from England, maybe you're from USA or Australia. And that stuff, separates us. I am a woman, maybe you are a man. Have this sexuality, maybe your sexuality is different, or maybe it's the same. And the stuff that separates us and so little connects us, which is basically not true. I started discovering at the beginning of my journey that spirituality is opening up my mind more and more and more and more, to the point of actually losing my mind. That it is actually better for me to literally lose my mind and adopt a new one or none. And I've started exploring more and more with meditation and listening to other people who are more advanced on their spiritual journey. And it helped me a lot as well to, identify and connect with those who were at the beginning as well. But I wasn't that fortunate at the beginning of my journey 5 years ago to be surrounded by many people who were on the same journey as I was, and on the same stage of the journey as I was. And to be honest with you, it's very rarely that I am, fully on the same path, on the same stage as someone else that I'm talking to. Usually, it's just a little bit different, and we see things in a different way, but that's what makes it more fun. That's what makes it more interesting, and that's what makes it more valuable, because I can learn more, or I can be more of use to another person with what I've just experienced and understood, and maybe it will help them that, that's not for me, or yes, please, that's exactly what I'm going through, or this is exactly what I need to go through in order to move on and let it go of the old. And the more I was experiencing spirituality, the more I started understanding more and more on a deeper and deeper levels, we are just all one. We all come from the same one thing. But it was, the understanding I've had at the beginning was a little bit like this iceberg, that it's, the tip is above the water, and it just goes deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. The more I work through this beat. And work through, when I ask that question, to myself in meditations, when I journal that stuff out. And let me just share with you as well, how I begin, what kind of things you can do to start maybe exploring your spirituality, or exploring a little bit more your own sense of spirituality. And let me just reassure you that whichever way you understand spirituality at this particular moment, it's absolutely fine, okay, and more than enough. It doesn't have to be like anyone else. It doesn't have to match anyone else's opinion, and definitely you do not need anyone else's permission to feel and think in this particular way that you are right now. Just one little side note, if you, whatever you are believing at the moment, if you feel a lot of inner pain, a lot of confusion, a lot of inner turmoil, there are some beliefs that they do not serve you, but through experiencing that pain, you can gain willingness and motivation to be able to work through this. And whether you will do it on your own, or with the help of a spiritual advisor, or life coach, or mentor, whoever you want to work with, you are able to go through it. There is absolutely no doubt. And when we're doing that stuff on our own, it takes extremely long. If you're going through that with someone else's help, not just through the books, because let's say each book is someone's lifetime of experience and you can read that book in a week or in a month. But if you're going through that with someone face to face or on the phone, or you're going to a meditation meetings or yoga classes, that they have a lot to do with spirituality, not just losing weight. This shift goes deeper, it goes faster, but we have to make ourselves available for these experiences and available for joining a community. And that's why every episode, every video I make, I always encourage every single one of you to comment in the section below. If you will scroll down under this video, down to the very bottom, you will get to the comment section, and this is exactly the place of safety. I still have full control of getting out whoever doesn't have all of us best interest in their heart. And I would like to still continue creating that safe community where we can all together grow, support each other, be there for one another, and do that together, holding hands in a virtual way, and pushing each other's forward and saying to each other, it's not watch out, but go for it. So spirituality means to me as well, community and connecting, and it's I don't want it to be bound anymore. That is just for women. I've done it in the past and it did work very well for me in the past. I don't want at the moment anyone or this community be bound by you have to be a female or a male, or you have to be black or white or whatever. It absolutely doesn't matter. I want it to be all about love and being open and growing together and raising our vibration, because the more we are working on ourselves, the more we are changing this world. And just even if you are working on yourself, just at the moment, the only thing you do is you're working on yourself and you're meditating every day and you're doing that stuff I'm gonna just mention, you already making difference in the world, because you're carrying totally different vibration, you're carrying totally different energy, and you are not 24/7 reactor based on the program you've been conditioned into, but you are a creator, and instead of reacting, you are responding to the life situation. You're learning through that spiritual experience that you are not just your body. You are not just that body who always wants to lose weight and be on a diet. You are not just that body who is too big, too small, too thin, too tall, too short, too heavy, too thin, too weak, too unhealthy, too healthy, whatever it is that we are, describing. You are not just that mind that you are not just the story that you are repeating to yourself or to others. You are not just that person who wasn't, loved properly when you were a kid because your parents weren't loved properly when they were a kid, because it was so much fear in their life and guilt and shame. And I've just shared, my own experience. Exploring more spirituality is just going into uncomfortable. There is no other way around it, because it is going against that program. There are few things that at the beginning brought me so much ease, so much. They helped me in a huge way to breathe fully, to be encouraged to just keep on going with that inner work, going deeper and deeper, that there is absolutely no limits. These few things that I've done at the beginning, and some of them I still do all the time, were very helpful for me to learn to accept myself for who I am. Learn that whatever happened, it didn't happen to me, it happened for me, and I'm the only person who is in charge of what am I gonna actually do with that. One of the first things I've done is that I surround myself with people who were know people that were, that I would normally surround myself with, people who meditate, people who are doing spiritual inner work, people who are on the spiritual path, and I would be going to meditation meetings, people who open up, people who share their path, their journey, their story, their pain, their struggles, their wins. And I would surround myself with people, and trust me, this is nothing I wanted to do. I just this inner righteousness was like, I know it better, and I wasn't. I had to learn from others. What helped me massively was to look within and look at the stuff that separates me from others and from that higher power, that separates me from peace. I had to look, under the covers, and I had to look at what makes me so irritable around people, what makes me reject them so badly, yet I make myself a victim of rejection my whole life. What makes me resent my own parents so badly. And it wasn't just at looking like, okay, this is what they've done, this is what they said, this is what they did, and this is the list 55 pages of what they didn't do, blah blah blah. It was looking at it in a totally new and different way. And I would like to encourage you here to just loosen up and open your mind. I started looking at things at where did I started the ball rolling. Okay, this is the pain in my bath. Where was the point? Where was the place that I sit my ass on that, pain, where was the point in my life when I started something, and I started looking at life, and I started literally taking my power back. First, I had to surrender, totally strip down that ego that it was built up over the last 33 years. And I had to look at it, okay, every single thing I'm resenting right now as an adult, I've put myself into. And every single thing I believe was unfair and painful that happened to me when I was a child, when I was a teenager, I'm grown up right now, and it's my full responsibility to overcome that stuff, work it through, not keep on repeating the same story over and over and over again of rejected, unloved Eliza, who was unable to express herself because it was, put into guilt and shame on a daily basis for basically trying to be a good kid. I had to start changing my story and get my power back. And I've done it by looking at my side. Okay, I'm a grown up. I'm moaning about all these relationships that I had, the mortgage I've put myself into, and I started looking at it. Every single thing I've done it. The decisions I've made them on my own. No one absolutely forced me. I've never been put into slavery. I've never been forced into any relationship. Every single thing I've done is I've put myself into because I wanted this thing to fix the way I think and feel inside about myself and my worth and my life. And that was the core that I had to face. That there is some huge big inner lack, huge big inner hole within me that I was trying to cover up by relationships, sex, drugs, money, alcohol, partying, doing shopping, spending money I didn't earn yet, being around the people, dressing up in this particular way, doing these particular things, it just was, the list was just never ending. Eating this amount of food, this type of food on this exact moments without even being aware of it. And the list goes on and on and on and on. And I started seeing like that, oh my God, I'm so disconnected from myself, from whatever I'm thinking and feeling. And all I'm trying to do is just to cover that hole. And the only way to describe that hole is that I'm like disturbed internally. I'm like so unhappy and so irritable, and it's so easy to piss me off, and everyone, it doesn't do what I've believed that they're supposed to do and should do, and all that crap. So I started, digging within, I started being brutally honest with myself. I opened up about that stuff to new people in my life. Through doing that, we became good, close friends. I started listening to other people and their issues, their internal stuff. I started helping others very, very fast on my journey. I was maybe after 6 months after I started doing that, I was already placing myself there and helping other people who needed that help. That's how I started, this coaching slash mentoring thing, being, a spiritual support and advisor and a friend for other people by again sharing my crap and letting them open up about their stuff so they can overcome it, so they feel like if she came from that, I can wherever I come from, I can, do that as well. So I started doing that, and I've made a decision about, okay, what doesn't belong in my future anymore. If I keep on repeating that stuff, I'll just keep on repeating the same process. And so what is it exactly that I have to stop doing? And the list, was quite big. I have to nearly everything. I had to stop blaming people for who I am and how I feel. I had to start take a full ownership of who I am, how I am, and I started learning and believing that my tomorrow depends on how am I gonna handle today, not by constantly thinking about tomorrow, but how present I am today, what kind of state, mental state and emotional state I am in right now. Okay, if I am in mess, what can I do in this case? Can I ask for help? Can I work it through on my own? I've started using a spiritual prayer, praying to that higher power, whatever it is that, makes my heart beat 24/7 for the last 38 years. And it doesn't stop, doesn't take breaks. That power that makes my eyes shine each time I see a landscape and a sun coming through on the sky, through the clouds. And what is that power that, makes me wanna smile to people when I see them on the street, and all that beautiful stuff. So I started praying to that power, asking for help to be better today, and thanking at the end of the day, thank you so much that I had another day, that I was improving myself and who I am and who I'm becoming, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to help others. And I started meditating, and my journey really began. After cleaning all that inner mess and that inner rubbish, I started practicing self-love. And if you are a person who never done it before or doesn't maybe have a daily structured daily routine, below this video there is a link attached to the self-love guide, which is absolutely free, and it is attached to a series of emails that they are as well absolutely for free. So if you want to learn a little bit more about clearing up that inner mess and learning a little bit more about your own preciousness and your own inner worth, you can click on that link below, subscribe, and I believe it's, I don't remember how many, 11 or 13 emails. So it's not like you're gonna be getting them forever and ever, but there is a fair amount over there to give you enough of information and resources on what to do if you are ready to start taking continuous action in your life. What else helped? Journaling. Started journaling. I started moving my body. I started through journaling. Let me go back. Through journaling, I started creating that relationship between me and me, and as well I started creating that. I started giving a little bit more attention to that relationship instead of just an attention to everyone else around me the way I was doing it before, just in case they can make me happy and they gave me a compliment or they can make me feel good. And the reason I was doing that unconsciously, later on I became conscious, aware of that process, that conditioning, is because my own self-esteem, it wasn't created when I was growing up through less than nurturing environment that I was brought up in as a kid. I was unable to develop self-esteeming mechanism within myself, which it made me always seek for love, attention, permission, any type of approval from outside sources, which is outer esteem. And now in my adulthood, on my spiritual journey, I learn exactly how to esteem myself, how to stop feeding on other people and chasing that another guy, Prince Charming, or another best friend ever who would every day, constantly, do all my expectations and be exactly who I want and need them to be to fulfill that inner hole within myself. And I want them to read my mind, and without me even saying, surprise me with a, I don't know, trip to Las Vegas, whatever, just all that old crap. I've learned how to start loving myself for who I am. I learned how to love myself even when I totally and properly mess up. I've learned how to detach from that constant addiction towards guilt and shame on a daily basis, which became my normal state back in the day. I've learned my own preciousness, and I've learned my own power, and I've learned how much do I actually have to give the world without constant need of anyone constantly fulfilling me in any way. And yes, I am a human being. I need a gorgeous hug from my friends. I need someone to tell me, Eliza, I've not seen you for a week. I've missed you. I don't remember how you look anymore. Come and see us, blah, blah, blah. We all need that. But there is as well a beautiful boundary that I have, and I learn about that. So if this is any of the stuff you want me to talk about, let me know in the comment section below, please. And as well, if you are a person who identified with that low self-esteem or non-existent self-esteem below, and it's just really, really done with keep on repeating same old and keep on accepting the unacceptable from those people, just so for 5 minutes per month you can feel loved or needed, and the rest of the month you feel like trash, or you don't feel treated with respect, love, and kindness. If you are on the stage of your journey when you are ready to learn how to esteem yourself, how to know your own preciousness, I will link below in the description box the golden self-esteem experience, which is absolutely fabulous way for you to learn a new way of how to think and feel about yourself in a beautiful way on a daily basis. Let me go back to the beginning stages. Okay, so journaling helped me connect with me. It helped me pay attention to me. It helped me see who have I been today. What is the stuff that I've done that is gonna create this amazing future for myself, amazing today, tomorrow, and what is the stuff that I keep on repeating from the past that it has 100% potential to take me back where I am here right now in this place of peace and contentment, and it can easily take me back to where I came from, which is pain, misery, struggle, and all that stuff. And every day, for a very long time, every single day I was journaling just a little or a lot, with as well make a list of the stuff that I'm going to do or which way I am going to be choosing to be. For example, this particular day when I wasn't maybe too good and internally I was so pissed off with people all around me, the next day I would be extremely focused, and I would have that noted in my journal that I am focusing all about compassion, patience, and tolerance, and not taking things personally. Another day, for example, I would be too much focused on myself and me, and I would be all lost in all my own fears and worries and doubts and lack and all that old stuff. So at night time I would be writing for the next day. I will be focusing on giving and giving and giving and giving and giving whatever it is that I have in abundance, which it would be my smile, my attention, me listening to someone, me actually calling someone who I know that they had a tough week or tough month or maybe tough life, and just focusing on correcting that stuff. And now I would like to move into another two sections that have made a huge big difference, which is a body movement and connection with the nature, which is OMG, I kid you not, it is just absolutely phenomenal. And I owe it to my really good friend, a spiritual advisor who helped me understand how important it is for me to move my body. And I started practicing yoga and doing a little walks, and I had no idea how much fear holds me back, that how much I was disconnected even from my body, from myself, from my own breath. And doing yoga, not in a way of, let's sweat the bucket out of me, or let's, get into that perfect shape like in the magazines. It was, of course, my ego was talking about that. I'm not gonna be denying the truth. But more and more I was connecting with my breath. More and more through the movement, I was connecting with my body, asking my body, or even teaching my body. This is so good for me because my body felt most comfortable sitting on the couch watching drama, watching the stuff that it is about jealousy, murder, betrayal, gossiping, backstabbing, and all that stuff that it is literally like drinking a glass of bleach. It's nothing good. It's nothing good. If you're watching that stuff, I'm not trying to judge you or criticize you in any way. I'm just sharing how much aware I became of, putting literally poison into my system, and how unhealthy it was for me on my journey, okay? I was very, very spiritually sensitive, and I still am, and I have to be very careful with what I put into my system, through my eyes, through my ears, through my nose, through my mouth, and all that stuff. So, going back to the movement and yoga, and of course my ego was, I'm gonna do this 30-day challenge, and if I'm day behind, I'm gonna do 2 or 3 at the same time, and I would stretch my body too much, and I would make my body in pain. I would cause my body pain literally, and I would just and I would just kept on learning how important it is to move these energies that they are trapped in my body. More and more I learn about that just recently through the breath work that I'm cracking on here and there. And I'll talk about it in some another episode when I will learn a little bit more. And another thing was the connection in nature. Through the connection in nature, I was able to connect with that higher power. And why am I talking about it? Why is it so important as a spirituality, and has nothing to do with organized religion? It is extremely important because in today's world, we are slaves to so many addictions that they became bigger than us. They became so much bigger than all of us. And these addictions and these, let's call them masters, that we became slave to, holds us back, makes us die before our time, makes us suffer, which creates more suffering and pain. Hurt people, and we are the victims of victims and all that stuff. And I've started experiencing something amazing and beautiful when I was going outside. So let me tell you, maybe the addiction to guilt and shame. I was put through guilt and shame on a daily basis when I was growing up. So for me, that kind of feelings and emotions became absolutely normal. So when I am grown up and I don't live in that old environment anymore, my body and my mind is trying to find something so I can feel that guilt and shame, or guilt or shame on a daily basis, because it's so addicted to the chemicals created through these feelings and emotions and that obsessive thinking. So I would have an absolutely amazing day. I'm no saint, I'm no perfect, no one is, but I would be having absolutely amazing day, and I would at the end of the day feel like a total failure because I had one negative thought that someone is worse than me and I'm better than them. And that was just a thought. Just a thought that came to me. I didn't like it. I let that thought go. Straight away, I started feeling guilt and shame. I let that go. At the end of the day, I'm looking at my day, and that one thing ruins everything for me. And it didn't happen because I wanted it to feel it. My body was addicted to that feeling. So it kept on searching through my psyche. I remember going through a difficult time a year and a half ago. A year ago, and that was the time when depression came back to my life. And I remember I was so desperate to find out the reason for it that I kept on finding stuff that it isn't there. I kept on literally finding reasons and stuff within myself, the faults, that they are not there. And that was the problem. I just did not let myself be sad and not on the top peak of my energetic and spiritual form. That's all it was. Just that inability at this time to accept myself. Okay, I don't have to be jumping up in the air 24/7. I can just let myself feel whatever wants to go through me. So when we are addicted to that guilt and shame, just an example, or we are addicted to soda, which it creates, really bad, cavities. It creates, really bad condition in your stomach, in your body, in your mouth, in your teeth. It costs you money. You're going more to doctors. It ruins your stomach, your bacteria levels, and all that stuff. So when you are addicted to that, that thing destroys you. It becomes your master. You want to be healthy. You want to be strong. You want to become fit. You want to feel good about yourself. And you don't have to look like in magazines. You can be just you with that, a little bit of a belly or a little bit of this or that. You just want to love and accept yourself and just feel good. Just feel good. But that addiction keeps on holding you back, keeps on make you go back to that stuff. You're waking up, you're making a decision. I am not going to be drinking Iron Brew or Coca-Cola or Pepsi or whatever it is at all today or from now on or just today. And sometime, 5 minutes after you will wake up or 5 minutes before you will go to bed, you will lose that battle. That means you are addicted, so that moment when you are going into that nature and you start paying an open focus, attention to an open area instead of one moment, that's when you are starting to creating these gaps. That's when you are just focusing on your breath. That's when you are just focusing on the beauty of the nature of the landscape, the beauty of even you just moving your body. That's when you are creating these gaps, and when you're actually letting that higher, you're opening up because you're stepping away from being that slave for this one split of a second. You're stepping away from being that victim that you made yourself, your whole life, like I did. You're stepping away from making yourself, constantly wrong or constantly right. You're stepping away from that, whoever holds you back from growing, and you let that higher power, that power of love, that all creative divine energy to run through you more and more and more and more. So the more you are connecting in nature, especially if you're going on walks on your own, the more you are connecting with that open space, the more you are connecting with that beauty of creation, beauty of nature, animals, grass, trees, sea, lake, fields, whatever it is, the more you are letting that power run through you, the more gaps you are creating. And it is like a meditation. The more of that power goes through you, and it's extremely liberating. It's extremely healing. And first I was getting 5 minutes of an absolutely feeling of like I'm in heaven. Then after months and months of doing these walks every single week, I would be coming back home from work, and for the rest of the day, without even doing much about myself, my life, I would be feeling literally like in heaven. I would be feeling amazing. I would love who I am. I would love where I am. And it just created more and more and more space for goodness and creativity in my life. So it's been quite a long recording so far, because I really want to this content to be as helpful and useful as it can be, because this is my purpose at this moment. My purpose at this moment is to help you raise your vibration, help you grow, help you become more free inside out, free from that past that keeps on running in your head, free from that old story of you being a loser or unworthy or not good enough. My purpose is to help you become whoever you want to become, and you feel the most amazing about it. Whether your dream is to sit under the tree for majority of your time, or whether it is to be across the other side of the world preaching to other people and helping them, whatever it is that it is your dream and your journey and your idea of best version of yourself, I would like to be helpful for you on that journey. And I have here another 2 questions, another 2 points that I wanted to talk about, which are about what is it in store for you on this spiritual journey. So if you are going to decide, you know what, from now on, I'm rolling up my sleeves, I'm putting into the action these few points on a daily, weekly basis, and I really want to explore more my spirituality. So I would like to talk about what is it more in the store for you, and as well I would like to talk to you about what are the things that can and will be trying to hold you back from that. But I think it is enough at this moment for this episode, and I think I'm going to make this episode as a part 1, and part 2 will be the next one, and we will talk about it soon. Meanwhile, if you have any more subjects, questions, any type of difficulties that you are going through right now, and you would like to hear someone else's experience on that subject, if this is something I went through, I would be more than happy to help you out. I would be more than happy to make an episode about it, whether it is a video or this podcast-ish thing, which I love so much to do. And whatever it is, please let me know in the comment section or send me an email. And as well, if you are one of these people who would like to support me on that journey of creating that content for you, I would absolutely appreciate that. And in the About section of my YouTube channel, which is at the end, in the About section, there is a link, support me or support this channel, and that's where you would be able to make your donations depending on your desire, depending on what is it that you would like to do over here. And of course, if you've got any value whatsoever from that episode, I would appreciate so much if you would hit the like to this video and leave a comment section below, whether it is just one emoji or it is a few sentences of how it helped you and what else you would like to hear from me about. I would appreciate that big time, because it's going to help me create more of the content on that platform and grow and learn more and become better version of myself. Thank you so much, guys. For now, I wish you absolutely all the best. I'm sending you so much love and light, and I wish you a beautiful day. Bye bye.